Stitch Along Friday.
I almost said the other thing.
I know,
Yeah.
but we're not going to
No,
anymore.
we're not going to.
Kathleen is here. Hello. Marty, hola. We love saying hola because it's all we know how to say.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I know what to say and what it means too. So
Hola. Loretta, hello. Donna Granger. Oh, I'm glad it's sunny today for you.
Yeah.
I love having the weather report from down south. It's only halfway. I think you guys are only halfway to southern LA, Southern California. But it feels like you're way down south.
That's right.
We are.
Yes.
Anyway, good to see you all. It looks like we got about 19 viewers are checking in with us at least, seeing if we're interesting today.
Yeah. And I don't know if we'll be interesting, but
we'll give it a good try. Maybe we should be called, not interesting.
Not interesting.
Don't bother.
Yeah. Boring. Yeah.
Speaking of interesting, I was listening to my podcast again this morning, and I have now seen all of Smartless except for the newest one. So that means I don't have a regular routine of Smartless in the morning, and Smartless is great. I love that one, and it is the most popular apparently on Amazon Audio. But I do find another one, which is Malcolm Gladwell, and he is an amazing thinker, and he likes thinking of things that are interesting. Like he'll ask a question you wouldn't have thought of about anything that you already know this, this painting, or this guy, or this actor, and then you'll find that he's got a way of asking questions. And well, why not? And they, oh yeah, why not? And just love seeing that kind of thinking. Anyway, so I was really enjoying Malcolm Gladwell this morning. Yeah, it was really fascinating, some of the stuff. I can't remember half of it, but my memory.
At the time, it was really interesting.
My memory, on the other hand.
It piqued your interest this morning.
Definitely. I was very enthusiastically listening. Brenda Lichlier, Roxy Kobrock. Marge Wees is here. Hello, all of you. Lynn Burton, from England. So nice. I hope, Lynn, that everything is good there. And it looks like it from our news anyway that we get here in Canada, that England is doing pretty well. It's gone through its ups and downs with the latest health things, but it looks like you're getting over the hump, which we love to see because that means it's possible for everyone.
Yes, our cases went up. I don't know if you heard that yesterday.
Of course, our cases went up. Of course they're going to, because they're testing more, and also because this variant, it does spread more. But it's going up, but hardly any hospitalizations.
True, very true.
And very few, I think it was one death last week. So it's much less serious if anyone else catches it. You're just going to have the flu. But it does say you've got it.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So if you're tested, then all the other people you've been in touch with, you're going to likely have infected them. They'll be tested. True. So the numbers go up. But the seriousness is not as bad because we've got really good vaccination rates. Yeah. We're upward to, I think it's 70% fully, or is it 72% fully vaccinated? I think that's what it is. Or maybe it's higher, 80%.
Well, I think it's, what I heard last night was it was 80% with one dose and 68% 2 doses.
See, she knows all these figures. Yeah. I'm not very good at that, but we're very high anyway, and I'm really grateful. I'm so grateful because it makes it better for the rest of us. Donna Granger says, we are always fun.
Oh, thanks, Donna.
I can't believe it. That's really good to hear. Hello, Linda Bazarski from sunny and warm Connecticut. Great. Glad to hear it's just warm, not hot. Kathleen says her stitching is on hold because she's back making masks for her grandkids. Yep, they're going back to school. Things are going to become more complicated for parents. Norma says, hello, everyone. Look at you. Oh, look at you.
Thank you, Norma.
You know what? This time it was mint because I watched Lisa come in and I hadn't had my shower yet. I thought, okay, I'm rushing upstairs and I'll see if I can find something soft and blue. Remember I said something soft and blue? So I tried. This is as close as I could come. Yeah. So thank you for noticing. So you feel like we tried anyway.
Yeah, actually, this is one of my favorite shirts because I love the colors in it.
Yeah, the colors are beautiful. Blues and oranges, or peaches, I guess you could call it. Jennifer McEwen, good morning. I think it is morning. I haven't slept for, you haven't slept.
Oh, no.
What's going on, Jennifer McEwen? Are you working too hard?
Yeah.
Are you stitching too much? Jennifer Gowan says, you two are anything but boring.
Thanks, Jennifer.
We just were trying to get you to say things like that. No, we weren't. Ellen Meldrum, good morning to you ladies. Hello to everyone from showery Stirling, Scotland.
Send those showers our way.
Yes, please. We would like some of your showers on our forests,
yes,
please.
And not just a shower. We need a downpour.
Yep, we need a deluge.
Yeah.
And Inga Kauslarich.
Yeah.
I think I said that right. That's a beautiful long name from Wisconsin. Yes, you have missed us. I'm so sorry that you weren't here.
But glad you joined us now.
Yeah, glad you found the time. Tedra says, hello from very warm Phoenix.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Tedra, that's called hot.
Yeah. And not just warm, that's like, cooking.
Kathleen says, good morning from Washington State. Good morning. Lynn from sunny and hot South Florida, I betcha. Mary, hello, Mary Widrowitz. Nice to see you, Suzanne Healy. Lovely. Jennifer Chung is here. Jillian Burst is here.
Yeah.
Well, you say nice to see you both.
Yeah.
But we're here almost like all the time together. I don't know what would happen if I had to be on my own again. Remember we tried that a few times? It wasn't the same.
Yeah, no, it's not the same. It is entertaining watching you from home, though.
Is it? Hey, not fair. And actually, I remember watching you from home. Was it when I was away?
No, you were away actually a couple of times when you went to teach in Connecticut with Sue. I think I did a little bit, and then you switched over. I kind of go gangbusters for about 5-10 minutes, and then I lose all.
Well, what it is, I think you're not you're not practiced at maintaining conversation. Because really, I've had to do a lot of social stuff. My first husband was a realtor. I'm actually a chatty Cathy in small bursts. I can talk and talk and talk and talk. You call it what? Blurbing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I talk to people in general, I'm very interested in how other people are doing. So that kind of gets me going. I used to have a real tongue tie, my tongue was tied because I thought, for myself that I had to entertain. And in a way, I guess it is entertaining to watch someone try to entertain you.
Yeah.
But basically, it's not about being entertaining. It's just about being, thinking of stuff to say.
Yes. And I quite often have problems thinking of things to say.
Well, because you think of things to do so much.
True.
You're such a doer. I think you're amazing.
True.
Lynn Burton says her cases went up, not her cases, but the cases where she is in England, it went up as a result of the European football recently when crowds all mingled. But restrictions have been lifted. Great. We're now offering vaccines to under 18s.
Yeah.
I don't think we are yet, but hopefully that will, I agree.
I think it's between 12 and 18 can get
12,
vaccinated.
but not under 12.
But not under 12.
Yet.
No.
I think they're working on the dosage.
I think so, yeah.
Sandy says, we both look great.
Yep.
And you do too, Sandy. I can see through the camera what you look like. Have you ever had that feeling when people have on a TV show, they'll show you that a crime was committed because someone saw you through their laptop webcam?
Yes.
Do you get that eerie feeling sometimes that your laptop is looking at you?
Yes.
Do you think it's true?
And hey, fill your boots because I'm kind of not doing too much. So
go for it. Anyway, sometimes I get the feeling that I can see the people right in that camera.
Right in that camera?
Yeah. And that they're looking at us too. Well, they are.
Yeah, they are looking at us.
Tammy, how are you? Howdy from Warman, partly cloudy. Warman, partly. Did you see how it was spelled?
Yeah,
That's so cute.
Warman.
That's a new town.
Yeah.
Out grocery shopping. How nice. Happy birthday to your birthday girl. Wow, 13. Okay, now is when things start getting rough on you, Tammy. Watch out for the next 5 years. Vicki says, good morning, everyone, from El Paso,
Texas. It's hot there, too.
I bet, Vicki.
Yeah.
Anne, hi, gals. Finally got you live. I'm so glad you did, Anne. That's great. Welcome. Jennifer McEwen, been cross-stitching like crazy and having insomnia. Oh, I'm so sorry. Insomnia is nothing to laugh about. Honestly, it's just not easy. But at least you're filling your time well. right?
Yes.
Not just, we were talking about waking up in the night
Yes, I did.
last night.
Yeah.
I do that all the time, so, it's nothing new to me.
No, I think I do it the time too, but just last night, for some reason, I don't feel rested when I woke up.
That can happen. I understand. You've been overdoing it maybe a little.
Maybe
a little. Those millions of figures you were looking at yesterday?
Yeah.
That might do it to you.
Maybe that gave me nightmares. No, I don't know if I had nightmares. So.
No, but it can exhaust you because you're actually focusing really hard on those numbers. So I get it. And we're just going to feel sorry for Jennifer McEwen.
Yeah, exactly. Last night, my husband started asking me questions. I said, "I'm sorry, I don't have the mind to think about questions."
That's right. Don't ask me anything.
Don't ask me anything.
You should definitely not live with Richard because he asks everything all the time. Happy Friday from Colorado, says Patricia Stewart Falls. Nice. Is it Falls? Fails, sorry. And happy to you too. Suzanne is celebrating a birthday, I think. Oh dear, says Sandy. I hope not. Good morning, says Jean Morrison. Hello. Larry is here. Oh, no, actually, it's from Larry's hacking wife.
Oh.
You definitely should get your own profile, I think. Tanya Kelly says from Central Arkansas, happy Friday.
Good morning.
And there is a Spanish person, Neos Laurado Oraqui. And she says, thank you for such good times from Catalunya. Nice to see you. Hola. I think that's okay. And it says gracias, so I think that's Spanish.
Yes.
Well, here we are. And it's Stitch Along Friday, so that means that there's going to be a Stitch Along this time.
Yes, because I think they've been waiting impatiently. I've seen several people going, where's June? Where's not June? Where's August?
Yes, I skipped a week, and I had to. I really did. I thought it was an important thing, and we're not that far away from August. I do have August. I could have August in 3 parts or in 4. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to try and see if I can put it in 4 parts, but that depends on when the Fridays fall. And it is true. It is a little late for August. Sorry.
Yeah.
I took a week off, basically. And I do have August all ready to go, which is good. You get to get started on this month's theme. Well, you and I discussed a theme, but we're not going to tell them because it's a mystery.
It is.
Sorry.
That's the whole idea of this.
At least part of the idea.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so that is coming. I have the model right, or not the model, the pattern right here. But we do have a Stitch of the Week. And before we get into the Stitch of the Week, I do want you all to know that I found this book. I've got a lot of books. And I found this book, and I'm going to read a little bit from it just for fun, because it applies to all people who are stitchers, even if you're not American. It is actually a book about the American women and their needlework from 1650 to 1850. And it kind of gives you an idea what people were doing in America, at least. And of course, it's done by American historians. So it isn't that they're trying to leave other people out or other countries out, because truly all of the needlework that was in America basically came from England and Northern European countries. But in any case, there's some really fun and interesting excerpts, and I thought I'd read to you a little bit over the next few Stitch Along Fridays to entertain you, and you can tell me whether you like it or not after I'm finished, whether you want to hear more or not. You can, comment on how incredibly more educated you are then. Want to know what the book is called. It's a really interesting book. I really enjoyed reading it. So what's our Stitch of the Week?
Our Stitch of the Week this week is interlaced hem stitch.
We've done that before, haven't we?
I know. That's what I thought too when you said that. I'm going, didn't we just do this a while ago?
I think we did one, but you know what we did? We did one that had 2 fabric threads interlaced. You know that there's these vertical fabric threads left over when you remove the horizontal threads in a hem stitching area. And so there are vertical threads left, right? And you have to embellish them. So I think that the one we did was interlacing 2 together, and then 2 together, and then 2 together. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I can prove it.
No need.
Anyway, I think that's what we did. So the stitch should be live on our YouTube channel in about 14 minutes at 10 o'clock. And this time it is putting 4 fabric threads interlaced like that. So that's a little bit different.
A little bit different, yes.
And maybe a little challenging for people. So you learn how to do that this week. It looks like Sue is there at Camp Bethel. Hello. Glad that you've got internet. And say hi to all of your relatives and your friends from so long ago there, Sue. Okay, so that's this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So we're doing the pattern from...
Beyond Cross Stitch, level 4, number 6.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
And just so you all know, there have been some people who wanted to know whether there would be Beyond Cross Stitch PDFs. And so far we have the first 3 levels up as PDFs on our website right now. It's available, but you have to find it through the catalog. Don't go to the side menu because for some reason I couldn't make it appear there. But if you go through the top menu, which is the main menu, and you go to catalog, and then I believe it's student kits. No, it's patterns. And then under patterns in the catalog, in the upper menu thing, you will find Beyond Cross Stitch PDFs. So it's only the first 3 levels that we've actually done and uploaded, which I didn't realize. I thought we had them all done.
Oh, no, yeah, I thought so too. But...
So level 4, 5, and 6 still need work.
Yeah.
And so they will, I'll do 1 or 2 at a time because basically we have to make them into PDFs and upload them as PDFs and make them available as PDFs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that all takes time. So if you guys want to wait for levels 4, 5, and 6, hopefully you can and you're patient. But 1, 2, and 3 are there. Those of you who are asking about it, please go and check our website. So this is the stitched version. And you can just see the, oh, sorry, I'm too close. You can just see that the interlacing of the hem stitching is very obvious here. I just have to hold it very steady.
If it would show up better if I put something behind it.
Well, actually, no, because the contrast shows the stitch really well.
Like this?
If you look over there, so that you can see, and then you put the white behind it.
Yeah, but what if I put green behind it?
Oh, yeah. It's about the same. That's okay. Anyway, this little pattern is adorable, and it can be put on its side like this so that you'll see the little heart going downward like that, and the little roses are adorable, and so is the pulled thread on the sides. Sorry, but it's hard to hold this one. It's not the same as a model.
No.
These are light.
Yeah.
This was done in order to be able to showcase our Beyond Cross Stitch.
Exactly, in a trunk show.
Do you remember who did these? Because I think it was
Micklin.
Micklin. For some reason, I thought it was someone else. I thought it was you, Tricia, but it wasn't.
I think it was Micklin.
Micklin was doing and learning all about scrapbooking at the time. So she put the description here in a little oval cutout, and then the heart here. This is a different one, and this is the one we're focused on today. Isn't this a nice page? And look at the back is very simple. She just used a little fabric glue to just make sure that it wouldn't move.
Absolutely.
And then she put it in the album, and a piece of white, just plain paper in between. It's not. I think this is actually acid-free paper.
Yeah.
So she used acid-free paper too. It's a wonderful way to keep all your stitches.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? It's a completely different idea than...
keeps them organized, and you don't have to, make them into ornaments or pillows or bell pulls or whatever.
So if you want to know the way a stitch looks, there it is, and it's a beautiful representation. So let's see what somebody has said. Currently working on the Beyond Cross Stitch Level 4 hem stitching kits. Very good going, Suzanne. I was a bit intimidated at first, but it is 1 stitch, 1 project at a time.
Yeah.
It is almost 1 stitch. I have to say there's 2 in level 4.
Yeah, there is 2.
In each one of them, I just couldn't.
There's a pulled stitch, and then there's hem stitching.
And
or drawn work.
That's right. And so once I got the idea that you can do both of them in the same time, I didn't have to do a whole other level to do either pulled or hem. So you get both. And in this case, I think with level 4, you will find them in the Academy, of course, in a much more explained way.
Absolutely.
So I know that you have signed up for the Academy, and I'm so glad you did, Suzanne, because you're going to be finished before December 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And the Academy, for those of you who don't know, the Academy is still going to be open until December 31st, after which I'll see what I can do with anybody who's not, who's left over.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that we
Mm-hmm.
can continue, but we might be able to help people.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, if you sign up right now, it's still going to be
Yeah.
another 4 months or 5 months to go, right?
Yeah.
August, September, October, November, December, oh no, not January. So 5 months anyway, and 5.5 months. So by all means, sign up if you want to learn these stitches.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy Wendell says, hello. Is there a way to cross-reference the yak packs that will no longer be available? What do you mean by that, Dorothy Wendell? I don't know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Cross-reference? What does that mean?
Yeah. Because, as accessory packs are being sold out, they will no longer be available.
That's right. But listen, everyone, if there's any issues with ACK packs or whatever, don't forget, you have needlework stores you can turn
Mm-hmm.
to for substitutions or for the actual threads themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The fact is that we made ACK packs to be more convenient for you. And of course, some of the threads you may not be able to get. Some of the charms and buttons you may not be able to get. But we were finding it hard to find some of those too.
Absolutely.
It's not just you guys. So substitution is what we're all about here at Stitch Along Friday.
Definitely.
I mean, what do you think you're doing here with our Stitch Along pattern?
You're finding your own colors. Just improvise and put something that you like on.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you don't like this color, use another color. The other thing about the ACK packs is that we do have a list of everything that's in each pattern, except for the first 20. Those were the old patterns, and we didn't quite put ACK packs together for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But for almost all of our patterns, we have the materials list on our website even. You don't have to even, buy the leaflet to get the
materials list. Yeah, it's all in the description section of each leaflet.
Exactly.
You just view more and you'll find all sorts of information in there.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just look at the picture and go, do I want that? But look underneath the picture and you'll see view more. There's info.
It gives you the fabric size, the fabric count, fabric color, threads, beads, charms.
So again, if you can't find the beads or the charms, then go and substitute something you think is nice for you, because you guys are the ones who are actually stitching it.
That's right.
There's no police saying, I do understand you might want to have the exact thing that I used.
Mm-hmm.
That's a possibility. But I'll tell you, if you're thinking over dyes stayed the same over time,
definitely not. Each dye lot is different and sometimes quite drastically different.
Yeah, to the point where we had 2 dye lots that were different to start with when I designed them. And the 2 different numbered over dyes now look almost the same.
Yes.
So it's become very difficult for us to give you an accurate representation of the original piece.
Yes.
Because just like in quilting, things go out of stock, they get discontinued, or their dye lot changes.
Or the colors change. Absolutely.
So I recommend that you go to our FAQ on our website, where underneath, I think in the second question, it says something about
do you have DMC substitutes or something like that?
Yeah, conversion chart to DMC.
Conversion charts, yes.
Which we do. So just go there, click on the link, and you'll get all the conversion charts for most of the threads. 98% of the threads we've used will have its conversion as a DMC color, which could help you choose your own colors. Because most people have DMC, or at least get a hold of some kind of a chart that gives you the approximate color of the DMC. And then you've got the color match as close as one of our employees thought it was.
Yes.
Remember, we did not, figure out whether those were all very accurate or not. But it was Kathleen's idea of a match.
Yes.
Okay, so that hopefully that helps.
Exactly.
Dorothy Wendell says, what can I use instead? Are there substitute threads that are recommended? Yes, we just talked about them. There aren't actually substitute threads that are recommended, however.
No. These are suggestions.
We just give you DMC colors so you can choose your own silks,
Yeah.
overdyes, whatever you like.
Mhm.
And so, Dorothy Wendell, I'm sorry if we don't give you as much information as you would need to choose your own threads. But what you can do is any online store that is worth its salt, and there are a few of them, they will be able to find you some of those threads, most of those threads
Yes.
actually.
Yeah.
Needlepoint ink is widely available, as is Krynic, silks, Mori. As Overswan might not be available everywhere, but I think
A good many
what's her name?
online, like 123 Stitch would have it.
And Needle in a Haystack will have it.
Yeah, Needle in a Haystack, Stitchville in Minnesota, and there was another one on the top of my head, and I can't remember.
There are shops. Google, for goodness sake, for shops that have those threads, and go and look at all of the threads that they have. And if they do have them, we have given you the number of all the silks that we use by that manufacturer and the manufacturer number in the materials list. So you can have a good shop owner will collect all the threads for you that they carry.
Yeah.
And then you can easily, accumulate your own palette that we suggest. But I also suggest use some of your own stash.
Yeah.
For heaven's
Absolutely.
sake. Why not?
Yes.
Okay, that's enough lecturing. Kathleen says, I plan on stitching the 3 gifts and I managed to find most of the threads. There's one charm that I have to find. Good for you.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be able to find them. I find that there's good charms where Fireworks.
Fire Mountain.
Fire Mountain, sorry.
Yeah.
I call it Fireworks.
Fire Mountain
Fire
would
Mountain.
have good charms.
There's another bead store somewhere in Seattle. Is that Fire Mountain?
No,
there's
that's
another
Shipwreck Beads.
Shipwreck Beads. They have charms. So do look and see if there's charms available online. Some Chinese people have
Probably
good.
even Amazon. You might be able to find some charms. What's the one that you were using? That we just ordered some charms from.
Etsy.
Etsy.
Yeah, you even look in Etsy and ask for charms, and you'd be surprised what they're selling. They might just get a little batch, but that's all you need.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Dorothy Wendell. I hope that wasn't too much information.
Yeah.
Do go on our website and look under the FAQ for our conversion charts into DMC, which might help you pinpoint the type of color that we could maybe find in your stash. Thank you. You're wonderful also, because that was a really good question.
Absolutely.
This is a question we actually get a fair bit of.
We do.
In our inboxes. What do we do now without ACPACs? And understandably so. There may be someone eventually who will take over our ACPAC business, but so far no one's volunteered. Would you like to volunteer?
No.
See? No one's volunteered.
Yeah.
It's quite the job.
Yeah, it is.
And that is one of the reasons why we were slowly going crazy as we were getting older.
Yeah. And with the amount of designs that we have, it was no longer easy to keep all that in stock.
Yeah, it was. We had to keep it in stock. We had to keep track of everything. We had to order just the right amount so that we wouldn't be over-ordering. Oh, it was just
a time-consuming process.
And it was easily done when we had lots of staff, etc. And everyone pulled their weight, and it was all wonderful. But it became such a larger company that I could handle at 72. I just didn't want it anymore. So I hope you understand some of the reasoning why ACPAC suddenly started to become less and less available. We still have a few coming out.
We will have a few probably
in
a month or so.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. But that's because they'll be left over after we do some other shipping. Yeah. Speaking of which, oh no, I have to talk about that secretly.
Yeah.
I can't talk about that in front of you. I was just getting in the middle of talking.
You were getting in the middle of talking business. Sorry, not business time right now.
Sorry. Kathleen Yount says needle in a haystack. I knew it because Kathy Ray, who's the owner, has been in business for so long.
She has.
And she loves giving advice and finding substitutes. It's part of her job. And when I was working at Fancy Works, I think I did that. And it was the most fun that I had all day was if somebody came in and wanted me to substitute.
Picking out colors.
For them. Oh my God, that was fun. So from my point of view, I always recommend that you go to a good store and ask them to fill your order. They are so good at it, and even if they don't find the exact thing, they'll substitute something else that's very close.
Yeah.
Bohemian Findings has charms. Thank you, Susan Robinson.
Never heard of them before.
It looks like you spelled it correctly.
I think so.
Because
that looks about
that's
right.
Bohemian.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We agree. Anyway, we had some models for
We do. You got one there?
I found one. Look at this.
I know.
That's 4 threads, or is that 3 threads?
Might be 2.
No, it's 4.
It's 4?
Yeah. You have to look very closely.
Oh, yes. Well, I don't have my glasses on. So.
Okay, so this is tea and stitches.
Yeah.
Right? This was a project that I did here in Victoria. Taught it first here in Victoria.
Yeah, that was. Do you have the year on as to when you taught that?
I don't think I have it on. Oh, yes. No. Do I have that at the top? No. Stitching.
I think you might have taken it out, but it goes back.
Goes back a ways.
Time.
It's called Stitching Tea and Me on this that pattern, which is really fun. But I just put in some words, and of course you can personalize yours the way you want. It is the ladies having tea here. This is the Captain's Palace, the old Captain's Palace, which is called something else now. What's the name of that restaurant now on the corner?
The Gatsby.
The Gatsby they call it, which it isn't. And then here's the Empress Hotel and the Parliament buildings right in front, which makes no sense whatsoever.
No, because they're not right next to each other.
They're not adjacent. But it was a representation of a little bit of Victoria with the inner harbor in behind. And you can even see a tiny little lamppost right, there we go. And then all around are pulled stitches. So this was my attempt to teach people pulled and needle hem stitching and harding all in one class, which was way too much for everyone, as I recall.
I think that's the one, that was the first time we taught at, what was that?
Harbor Towers?
No, it wasn't the Harbor Towers, it was across the street.
Ah, yes.
In the little library, the dark little library.
It was dark and they were trying to stitch this.
Yeah.
Those of you who came to that, good for you. Here is the hem stitching where you are interlacing 4 fabric threads, vertical fabric threads together. You can just see that right here. So I did include that with lots of pulled thread. Oops, not upside down. Lots of pulled thread, and even the corners were all different Hardanger, level 6 Hardanger. It was just so fun to do for me, but I'm afraid I overwhelmed people in the class.
It was a fun piece. I turned mine into a bag.
You did indeed.
I did.
And it looks great. The good fun part about this is that it's also, the hem stitching is also echoed in the scissor case. You can see it at the bottom here. And the scissor case is kind of cute because it has Hardanger and it also has the Fiskard Lighthouse and a little tiny lamppost that is our signature in Victoria for tourists. And I think there's some other things. There's a cute little needle book that belongs to it as well. We keep all of those little bits in the beautifully lined wooden box. I think the way you lined this box, all padded silk, Lupioni silk. No, moire.
I think it was moire.
Instead, not silk. Just gorgeous. I love this box.
I don't think you can get that box anymore.
Oh, well,
I think that's why I did mine as a bag, because the box wasn't available anymore.
The cool thing is that no matter whatever it is you've collected over the years, they do eventually, no matter whose designs they are or where they come from, you will eventually have something that other people don't have because they don't make everything all the time.
Yeah.
And the same goes for us.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another one. This is our summer pattern.
I just want to answer Dorothy. That pattern, yes, it is still available, and it's called Tea and Stitches.
Yes, so look up T, like T-E-A, not my name, but T-E-A, and Stitches on our website. And you should be able to put that in the search box, and I'm sure you'll find it.
Yes.
I'm glad you like it so much because we really enjoyed it too. Okay, this is our
Harbor Village.
Harbor Village. I've forgotten what it was called. I love the top part of this because it looks a little bit like the view out here where we see Sydney and some of the islands, some of our Gulf islands, we call them here. You're welcome, Dorothy. Lisa was noticing your question so quickly. That's so nice. So this is the top part. And then just like Christmas Village, it has a section in the middle, and in this case, the section in the middle is kind of a lovely little poem. The Peace of the Hills is about me, and the leisure of the summer clouds is mine. So basically, this is about summer vacation. And as you can see, there's this large scene here where everyone is gathered on the village main place in front of the church, where I think they're barbecuing, they're doing all sorts of things in here, having a picnic. They're also just suggestions, of course, and they're canoeing down the river and sailing and all sorts of things. So there is let me just double check here. Where did I see it? Well, this is 4 fabric threads interlaced. The difference here, though, is that I put a bead between each time that we interlaced. So this is the same stitch. It's interlaced with 4 vertical fabric threads. So once you've interlaced one, then you put a bead on, then you interlace the other, put a bead on. So you have to do it with a beading needle. Oh, and you found this one.
I found that one.
Which is Heirloom Homecoming. We have
Heirloom Homecoming.
in 2 colors.
2 colors. I could grab the other color too, but
what do you think? Should we or should we
why not?
Okay.
That way we can see how it turns out.
I'm looking underneath because I want to see what time it is on the, we have a great big TV actually over there on the wall, and we could use that as a monitor so I can tell what time it is, but I have to move because the camera's in the way.
Yeah.
So these are the 2 together. We should look at them together color-wise. Look at how different they are. This was the original.
Yes.
And I loved soft colors at the time. But then I did them in a kind of like autumny colors. This was more spring-like colors. And to me, they both have just the totally different charm.
Absolutely.
One of the few colorways that we actually did, this one and Heirloom Christmas, both come in 2 colorways.
Yes. Yep.
And we can bang them together. Okay. And then there is some kind of...
I was pointing it
yes,
straight
there it
down
is.
there.
You've got yours too. Okay, good. So it's
Yep.
down here's mine and there's hers. And so I'll bring mine closer.
Yep.
And then Lisa, you can bring yours closer if you want.
Okay.
If you can see. Because that's always so difficult. Can you see when you're doing this?
Yep. Oh, just
There's the interlacing right there.
Something else there.
Thanks, Loretta. Thank you, thank you.
Yep.
There we go. You can see the other one as well. And that one's backed with this lovely dark
Yes.
red, which
So
I really like.
Tends to pop out there.
Thanks, Larry's wife. Love that. I also really like both versions, and I'm really glad that you brought this out because Heirloom Homecoming is a labor of love. There were a lot of people who were coming home, I think, from wars and from...
Could have been from Iraq.
At the time this was done. I just empathize with all the people whose loved ones were away. In no way were they anything to do with what kind of war or whatever. It's not about the war. It's about the people that come home.
Yes.
And then I thought, well, people come home all the time. They come home from university for Christmas.
Yeah.
Or they
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So it's a homecoming. And it's also, then I thought, well, I'll expand the feeling, which is homecoming means coming home to yourself and to your family and your surroundings that are familiar to you. So even if it's nothing to do with coming home from the war, you still have that feeling of
coming home. I know when I head to my hometown, there's always like, but I'm also like do that when I leave too. So
remember that when you come home. Okay, so you're going to your hometown, and then when you come home, you're homecoming.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And finally, I think we saw this one as a similar one, but I think this one is over 2. Yes.
Yeah. So, and maybe that's why we did it, because that was when we did the hem stitching, we had pulled that one out.
Correct. We did this one before, and I think, let me just double check here. This is the hem stitching here, and this is with 2 vertical fabric threads. So you can see that the gaps are much smaller. It's just a tinier look and more like a ladder almost. And I find that that's why the Happy Easter pattern isn't actually the one that I should have chosen. But it's still in there.
Yes, and this one is I think this might be over with 2 fabric threads too. It's hard to tell. But it is hard to see it because there's white behind it.
Mm-hmm. We have this problem.
Yeah, we have this problem. But this was done with chronic braid.
Oh yeah, that's right. So the actual thing that runs through along and twists each of the vertical threads is
Metallic.
It's a metallic kind of pearl color, isn't it?
Exactly. It gives it a little bit of sparkle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was so subtle in those days.
Yes, you were indeed.
In the original days. Anyway, those are all our models. I'm so glad. Dorothy Wendell says that another one I love the bright colored one.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people enjoy the more colorful stitching these days. I've been working with an app that's called Decor, I think.
Yes, you showed me that app. Yes. Home decor or something like that.
Yes, Decorate or I don't know. Anyway, so I enjoy putting colors together and seeing if I win. And the win doesn't really have a big emphasis for me. No. It's practicing what colors go together and what's appealing.
What appeals to other people.
Yeah. So these are other people. They're women maybe, but they're they're also men there, and they also give me a different idea about what is possible. So I'm not using it to win anything, although when I do, I really like it. I do get a few firsts, but mostly I notice that when I think I'm just throwing out colors and I'm just doing it my mind isn't on it, I notice that I have much less appealing designs for other people. And when I really try hard, I can easily move up in the scale of being appreciated. So what I really enjoy is seeing what is now more popular and it's home decor. It's not needlework. And I noticed that home decor, people really do like lighter colors. At least on on this app, they're not as likely to want something dark. Dark or and I don't mean bright, but yes, bright too. Not so much like yellow and red, and they like the subtle colors, and they like them lighter, like mostly white trim on the doors. And I'm so surprised because every time I use a lot of white, I feel like, okay, this is going to be boring.
A little sterile.
Yeah, but they love it. So I find it really interesting to see what people love, and I think that'll change as I go into the winter.
Yes.
I bet you their minds will move into winter colors. So it's going to be fun to work on that. Mary says, lovely. Good. Okay, so I've got this book, and I don't know how to introduce it except by saying, this is called Plain and Fancy. This is the book. How many of you have seen this book? Probably it's been around for a long time. And some of you may even have this book. It is by Susan Barrow's Swan, illustrated with examples from needlework collection of the Winterbard Museum. That's okay, Sheila. That's right, milady. No yellow with red. Yeah. Absolutely. That turns a real ghastly orange when you're looking at it from far away. Anyway, in the introduction, they talk about this women in general in the 1700s and how women need to keep within their compass. In other words, they should just do certain things and not other things. And one of the plates, the engravings that they show, is this woman within the compass, watering her garden, etc. Because at the very top, otherwise she will end up, and I think this is where you're poor, and then on this side, whatever happens there, I don't know, but something horrible happens to you there. Here you become a prostitute, and on this side, you go to jail. So if you don't stay within your compass, in other words, do what your husband tells you, you are really in trouble. You're destined for evil and awful. It says, keep within compass, and you shall be sure to avoid many troubles which others endure. Yeah. Okay, and when you see that, it says keep within compass, and at the bottom, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. Oh. I know you all will love this. And at the top, it says, how blessed the maid whose bosom no headlong passion knows. So in other words, don't get excited. Her days in joy, her nights in soft repose. You believe it. These people. Anyway, so the book itself, of course, is not about that. It's about what women do, not what women are. And in the introduction, it talks about women in those days, how their lives were circumscribed by their society to fit in a certain way. But needlework was always a place where women could express themselves. They were like, every woman learned how to do needlework. Whether you were high or low born, you had to do needlework, particularly in America, where all the women did all the clothes. Like, you couldn't go out into the frontier and not have clothes, so you all had to learn.
And you couldn't go to the store.
And no, there weren't too many clothing stores, especially in the Wild West. The name of the book, please, Dorothy Wendell. Let's see, Plain and Fancy.
Yeah.
American Women and Their Needlework. It's by Susan Burroughs Swan. Through the years, in more affluent cultures, men have traditionally relegated women to playing decorative, seemingly subservient roles, and women have allowed this. Perhaps it made most women feel pampered, protected, freed from the pressures of coping. Except for some wonderful, rare rebels, whose words I shall quote in this book, it took until the mid-20th century for American women to start to demand and expect a more fully egalitarian society. Nevertheless, some of our female ancestors were incredible. From early on, they were brave and able, often working beside their men, sharing responsibility and building this country with their own hands. Remember, this is from an American point of view, American historian. They bore children, buried children and husbands, and survived. On the frontier, they helped clear forests, work fields, chop wood, build fences, and defend their homes. They tended children, grew vegetable gardens, made candles and soap, cooked and cared for livestock, and fished. A few exceptional women were painters, poets, and writers, and a few even fought in war, marching with armies and bearing arms. There were also skilled women, blacksmiths, printers, engravers, and silversmiths, and they ran businesses, engaged in commerce, and administered property. So they weren't exactly within their compass. But beyond and above all things they sewed. And they taught their daughters to sew. Their needlework took two forms, plain and fancy. And that's the name of the book. Okay. Let's see where we are. Plain sewing included the essential forms of household needlework, namely the cutting out and stitching of underwear, ordinary clothing, sheets, towels, and bed coverings. This work required simple stitches. Among them, there were back stitches, whip, cross stitches, and running stitches. Knitting and the marking of household linens also fit into this category. All women had to do plain sewing or make provisions to get it done. And this is the part that I think is starting to sound interesting to us. Fancy needlework encompassed all the non-utilitarian forms. Since by its very nature, decorative work was superfluous, only women in comfortable financial circumstances enjoyed the leisure time that enabled them to indulge in it. Most surviving needlework artifacts are fancy work. This is not surprising, for they were cherished mementos passed down through generations, whereas plain work was consumed, was used, reused, cut down, remodeled, scrapped, and then finally to be used in quilts. This book's purpose is to show the integral part that needlework played in the lives of these women, and particularly how it allowed them to express themselves in a male-dominated society. For needlework, in addition to being the most important contribution made by early American women to the decorative arts, was also their most acceptable outlet for a creative expression. And indeed, in many instances, it was the only concrete evidence of their endeavors. Needlework speaks to what it was like to be a woman. In early America, it says, but also in every society. So that's where I'm going to stop this time. It's going to be very interesting. If you're interested, I will read a little bit more of this in the future. So you're going to have to let me know one way or another here or on email, or maybe you'd like to hear or read about another book, etc.
I'm just interested to know what card you pulled that you put in the book.
Oh, I did pull a card.
Yeah.
I pulled an angel card to put in the book. Oh, this is so good. I think this is my card. I love who I am. I love who I am becoming. So that's the one I pulled.
Yeah.
That's my angel card.
That's right. Exactly. That's a good one.
I'm so glad you guys think it's interesting. Let me know if you want any more. I'd be happy to read a little bit more next time. We can have a little reader's nook. In the meantime, what are you going to be doing for the rest of the day?
Well, today I leave early, so, this is good. Because my husband's away too, so.
You've got a house to yourself?
I've got a house to myself. Although I leave here, I go to a chiro appointment, and then I go have my hair cut.
But those are all lovely personal things.
Lovely things, and then I get home and I'll walk my dogs. And then I've already seen what's on TV this afternoon.
Oh.
I can watch Sense and Sensibility.
Oh, well then.
Or
you've got nothing to
Downton
complain
Abbey,
about.
the movie.
Oh, well,
and
there
yes,
you go.
I will be stitching.
Doesn't that sound perfect?
Yeah, and I'm stitching on Bumblebee pincushion. But
that's
before
nice.
then, I have bookkeeping to do.
I know.
Yeah.
She's got to do a little bit more work.
Yeah.
I've got to put the manacles on her in the office before she flies off early today. When are you leaving?
12:30. My appointment is 12:45.
So she's going to leave me all alone in the office. Do you have any idea how bad that is? You know what I can do by myself here in the office?
I know what you can do by yourself. Yes.
And I have, Richard's away and he's very rarely away, so it's a little bit of an opportunity for me. Between 12 and I think 2, I get 2 hours to myself.
Ooh.
That's my favorite, is to be on my own. I love that.
And so what are you going to do?
For 2 hours? Probably just wander around the house saying, I'm by myself.
I'm by myself. It's so peaceful.
Exactly. Sandy, thank you. I will read more if everyone else tends to agree. Some of those books that you can read, they get really more interesting as time goes by. And I have several of these books. One of them has beautiful colors as well. And some of them is kind of subversive. They show how women use their needlework throughout past history, not just now, to be subversive, which I think is kind of, part of the women's movement. I always love in movies that we watch, even in Downton Abbey, or, we see these women, they're sitting there stitching, and that's presented as the most feminine and delicate of pursuits. And it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it can be. But a lot of women use their sewing and their needlework skills to give messages to people that, they aren't quite as passive as they think they are.
Yeah.
Ellen would like some more of the book reading. And Lisa does too. Lisa Webb. Thank you both. Thank you all three. It's good to hear. And if there's more, then I would definitely do more. And, I could make me decide that I'm going to read a certain portion.
Yes.
I don't want to overwhelm because some people don't like being read to. I don't know who might not be. But it does get more interesting as the book goes on. So hopefully you'll enjoy that.
And Norma's already looked it up. You can buy the book through Amazon.
Of course, yeah. And Norma, that's the reason. That's another reason why I'm introducing these things, because sometimes people just stitch and they don't know much about the history.
Definitely.
And this is a good, pretty definitive book on American needlework industry. Yes, and needlework, needleworkers. Actually.
History.
Yes, exactly. Read more. Okay, will do. I'm happy to read. I love reading.
And you're such a good reader.
Well, thank you. So I guess we're ready to go down and do some book work, right, Lisa?
Yes, I have 2 hours to do some more book work.
That'll be good.
Yep, it would be good.
Okay, well, I want to thank you so much for joining us this week.
Don't forget one thing.
And I really had forgotten that one thing. Okay. I sounded so sincere. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Oh, right. I have to also show you this.
One more thing.
Okay, so this, remember how on the back of the first part of each month, I show you the entire thing, and I do that on the first pattern of each month. So this is the first pattern of August.
Yes.
And so I show you what all of them together so far have looked like on my
printer.
Yeah, from my printer, but on my computer.
Yeah.
And so this is what it all looks like so far. And then, of course, I've got the new one started in the middle there, and this is the new one started. So I'm not giving much away this time. I want you to be sure to recognize that these leaves do not have to be all the same green, okay? You can use multitudinous different greens in there, Or you can use an overdyed.
Yeah.
Some overdyed
Yeah.
greens are just perfect. Remember to keep them a summery color and not too dark. Okay?
And you can even use overdyed that's not just green. It has, you know,
You can put some
pinks
blues and pinks in
yeah.
there. Sure. It's a summery thing. So keep it a little bit summery, and it's still August. So it's not meant to be those autumny colors yet. That'll come. So I hope that you have a good weekend as well. And this is your new stitch along, and I will upload it. As you all know now, you have to go to the announcements, and I will have a list where you can reach the last two. That'll be this one and last week's, or 2 weeks ago. The last one of July is also going to be there as a link. So I'm putting them on my website now so that you can link to them on our website. Okay.
Otherwise, you know, Facebook has disabled that capability.
For some reason, and right in the middle of our year in stitches, for some reason, they've kept us, and we are allowed to put files up, but those files now are no longer available. Oh no, the files are available, sorry, but you can't find files unless you put / and the word files after it. So when you're in the group, you can see the URL at the top. If you can see the URL at the top of your browser, just put a / and files, and you'll find all the rest of the files. But I'll give you the links under the announcements. Right? Yep. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Also, Sheila Hoffer, you're absolutely right. Can have time to them ourselves. Yes. So true.
Yeah, definitely.
Our jobs are never done.
Nope.
And I'm between 12 and 2. I'm going to have time off, and you're going to have time off between.
Well, at 12:30 on.
No, but you're not going to be alone. When are you going to be alone?
Oh, I won't be alone until, well, I'll be alone with the dogs probably around 2:15.
See? So from 2 until when?
2 until, I think my husband said he'll be back home tomorrow around dinner time.
She's got the whole day.
I do.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I really envy you. I'm really jealous, and I hope that I can get that one day, too.
Yes, and I'm going to actually, on my way home, stop and buy some good chocolate. So.
Oh, gosh. I know you're going to have a great weekend. I hope everyone else here has a great weekend as well.
Exactly. Until next week.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.